VHS, on Betacam, etc.
You're old school.
I'm telling you.
The new school, I don't think they would even understand.
They don't even know some of
they don't know
some of these things. Yeah.
Well, I guess when they watch some of these videos, because honestly, when you go on YouTube, even the old videos, they still show that these are very old videos.
Yes.
So you can tell if you look at them.
Yeah.
In the days of Walkman, right?
Hey,
Oh no, that was
Walkman.
before. This after Walkman.
But the,
What's after
this
Walkman?
is the other one. The one that the iPhone
MP3
thing.
or something.
No, yes.
Yeah,
but
that one. Yes.
the one manufactured by Apple.
Yeah. Was it MP3?
oh, the iPod.
iPod.
Yeah, the
yes,
iPod.
yes,
The
yes,
iPod. Yes, yes.
Good morning
yes.
to all of you.
Good morning. How are you?
I think I've been constantly inundated with concerns and also SOS calls by residents in the lower channels of the Volta Lake because, of course, managers of the Volta Lake and the dam didn't want to or don't want to do anything to affect the integrity of their Konsomo Dam. And so the spill water is affecting many communities. And I think that we need to make this a national conversation even before we have a certain situation the same time next year or any other year that it occurs. And the government of Ghana, led by the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, needs to make this a priority. We have thousands of people who have investments in many of these communities, and they've just lost their investments, their homes, their means of livelihood. And this is the roof of buildings in a community.
So it means that the entire community has been submerged.
Yes.
In
And they
water.
need
It's
as
so
much
sad.
help as they can. Apparently, the National Disaster Management Organization is just existing in name. It doesn't provide relief. And we've had Abla Jifagomashi constantly when she has these issues coming up in her constituency, raising issues about how NADMO is almost like docile or ineffective when it comes to providing relief, even though its objective is supposed to provide relief. This is a shame.
It's really sad.
It's a shame.
It's really sad.
It's a
so, anyway, the question on my mind, you remember the days when the dam could even go very dry and we'll be going through electricity crisis because the dam
That was in the
is
Akufo
dry.
administration.
Exactly.
We had constant power outages. We didn't call it doomsday then.
So I'm just asking, isn't there any way at all as a nation we can solve this problem?
We can do that through some level of re-engineering, diverting the water course. And
We can. So why do we sit to do these to surrounding communities? Elsewhere, before spillage would happen, incessant announcements will be made, people will be evacuated, they'll be given temporary shelters elsewhere or alternatives to make them comfortable. But why is it that, why do these things happen here? Who is responsible? Who is supposed to be doing the talking and is not doing the talking? Who is supposed to be taking action and is not taking action? Do we even care about the people at all? Because these are schools in the communities, hospitals in the community, marketplaces and everything. So if this is the situation, it means that everything as at this morning or even as at yesterday will come to a total halt. Why do we do this to ourselves as a people? I don't understand.
I think when we do Alpha Hour, we'll
I
ask
don't
God.
understand.
Ask God.
You ask God on Alpha. Why we do this to
I don't
ourselves?
know. I don't understand.
Because our leaders, they travel to all the best countries. You know, the Netherlands, I'm told, I haven't been there, it's surrounded by everything water.
Yeah.
So what they do is they've diverted these into canals, etc. All right?
Yeah.
And they even maximize it by using it for some other economic means, either for hospitality, transport, what they call multimodal transport concept, etc. People go and study there, all the PhD from Harvard and they come and stay in government and fresh. If the monarchs in Dubai, they are able to do that and divert water, sometimes they are even able to reclaim land from the sea. They advertise it on Facebook or something and come here. We'll take millions of Ghana cities or hundreds of thousands of cities and travel to the UAE, go and chill. But we have the resources, but we can't just do anything. We rather make it destroy people. Anyway, we have a thought leadership, Bella.
Yes, we do. This today, in fact, at 10 a.m., And it's a conversation that I think everybody should be concerned about, especially on the issue of asset declaration and how we need to ensure that that happens beyond just having the laws in place. It looks as if we've had a lot of public officers who have failed to declare their assets. And in fact, every 4 years, a public official who is taking public office should declare their assets. The only concern for me, for many of them, is that even when you declare your assets, it is put in an envelope, marked secret, and sent to the Auditor General's department. And it's only when there's a corruption investigation against you that envelope is opened. And so even when it's supposed to be gazetted, yes, but even when there's an issue, that is when it is opened. So how many of us will be able to tell who exactly has declared their assets and whether they are doing it per the law? And so we're having a conversation later today. It's going to be an interesting one, and so we don't want you to miss out on it at all. We're looking forward to having, you know, some very important persons joining us on the Thought Leadership conversation at 10 a.m. So please do not miss it. Yeah.
Well, already we have an individual. He's the president of the Law Faculty of GIMPA. Ebenezer Sefakisi will be joining us. He has petitioned to get a certain clarification as to whether we have those in public office, especially the relevant individuals, ministers and deputy ministers and other government functionaries have declared their assets or are in compliance with that. We want to ask him whether he's gotten that response. But I think also for the Ghanaian people, it's very important that public officials declare the assets.
Yes.
Indeed, if we had Madam Cecilia Dapa doing that constantly, she wouldn't have been in difficulty.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we would have known that she owned this in her home.
Exactly.
So we know that, oh, Cecilia Dapa has this in her home, so no problem. You
What did you
understand?
say?
No
what?
problem.
$2.8 million in your home.
Well,
Yeah.
You know. So,
Anyway.
so those are some of the things. So we'll speak to Ebenezer Sefakisi and get the latest update.
I think
Okay.
he's on
Okay,
the
we
line
have
now.
him on the line. Okay.
Good morning to you, President of GIMPA Law, Ebenezer Sefakisi. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Roland.
Okay. I do understand that you undertook a petition. Who did you petition, and what was the reaction or posture of that institution on the subject of declaration
Sorry,
of
can
assets?
can you come again?
I do know that you petitioned in relation to declaration of assets of public office holders. And just shortly, before we get on to the phone lines, tell us the responses you got so far on the subject.
Well, so just a little bit background in relation to, the recent discussion on corruption and corruption-related matters. So one of the things I decided to do was to seek audience from the Auditor General in terms of declaration of assets by ministers of state. So in line with the Right to Information Bill, what we did was that I petitioned, but I've not had a feedback yet. I've done a follow-up, so I'm just giving them some few days, then probably to petition the commissioner in terms of the Right to Information to compel them to release such information to me. So just a little bit about it, yeah.
Why has this become important for you as a law student leader?
Well, like I said, the Constitution clearly under Article 286 mandates that prior to persons taking up office as ministers of state are supposed to make the asset declaration. And at the end of their tenure too, they are supposed to go back to the Auditor General to pick up such information. Clearly I understand that the Constitution does not mandate the Auditor General for us to see the content unless a declaration by the court. Okay. But however, the big question has been, do they actually make that declaration to us? And do all of the ministers, inclusive of deputy ministers, make such declaration to the Auditor General? So this is the information I wanted to solicit from the Auditor General. And clearly that we know within the recent months, there has been a minister or a former minister that discussion around corruption and corruption-related matters. Are we too sure that in such an instance we are clear in our mind that prior to such a person assuming office, she made a declaration, and up to now, if there's anything related to corruption matters, can we go into her documents to ascertain how come she's gained certain assets or income within this period, and can we match it to the prior to her taking office with the asset declaration and come to a conclusion whether or not there has been some issue in relation to corruption itself? Yeah.
How would you describe the posture of the institution itself towards your petition?
Well, I think that has been the posture of all public institutions, very slow to respond to certain demand and requests, even though it's within our mandate to have such things. And that comes back to even the Right to Information Bill itself, to say that in the event whereby a public institution fail to deliver or to grant certain requests, which they are mandated to give, then the Right to Information Commission can slap such institution with certain fines.
Okay.
And I think that's a very bad provision in the Right to Information, because what that means is that if I'm working for a public institution, all that I have to do is to decline you, Roland, if you petition me, and we have to go through a long process. And at the end of the day, when there's an order that you should put the state institution to provide such information, that surcharge or that fine goes to the state. You and I, we tend to bear that cost again as citizens, because we are funding this public institution. What I want the amendment of that provision to be that whoever is the director, whoever is the manager, whoever is the person responsible should have released such information and declined. That person should be surcharged directly and not to the state coffers again. So if you look at the cycle, it's like we Ghanaians still bear that cost for the quote and unquote incompetence of such officer releasing information to us. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. The president of Gimpolo SRC, Ebenezer Sefakisi, giving us the latest update. He has petitioned for information on whether those who have been appointed in the Akufo-Addo-led government are up to date with their declaration of assets.
As of 2022, the Fourth Estate had also petitioned the Auditor General to find out if all of Akufo-Addo's appointees had declared their assets. And they found out that about 18 of them had not declared their assets as at the time this report was put out in 2022. And in fact, out of the 18, he said about 2 of them were still lawmakers in the current government, or are still lawmakers in the current government. There were a number of them who lost their seats in the 2020 election. Now, he says 4 others who were deputy regional ministers in Akufo-Addo's first term have been offered new jobs in the president's second term, but they still have not declared their assets.
Interesting.
So, yet the president had said that all his appointees had declared their assets. In fact, the president himself, we're told, has done it 3 times already. From the time he took office up until now, he's done it 3 times already. What is the reason why those 18 did not declare their assets and still have not done it?
We have a caller on the line. Yeah. Hi, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Kindly turn down the volume of your TV set. We're getting feedback from it. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Hello. Hello. Anyway, so I was just reading the Act concerning declaration of assets, and just to quickly run over some of the items that you would have to declare as a public office holder. So that includes lands, houses and buildings, farms, concessions, trust or family property in respect of which the officer has or is a beneficial to, vehicles, plants and machinery, fishing boats, trawlers, generating plants, business interests, securities and bank balances, bonds and treasury bills. Let me pick this one and I'll continue. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Ayimbiru from Boga.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to talk about the education system in our country right now. Currently, what is going on is just a total failure of the 3 senior high school. Because what the chance has complained about, and even currently the universities, look at what they are saying. This is a total failure. Because most of the students were just...
Biri, much as we are concerned about what you're talking about, much as we are also concerned about the educational system, I don't think it's in line with the reason we expected you to call. We are talking about assets declaration, whether public officials must, whether you support the policy that public officials must declare their assets, but I think you got us wrongly. So please call us back so we know your thoughts on that one. Anyway, so let me continue with some of the things that must be declared by public officials. Now, it also contains jewelry of the value of 5 million cedis or above, objects of art of the value of 5 million Ghana cedis or above, life and other insurance policies such. Okay, there's another caller. Hi, good morning. Welcome to TV3Newday. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, Cookie.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, my name is Abdul Mananting. I'm from Wa.
Okay, Manan. Please go ahead.
Yes. I think the assets declaration is a very important thing that we should take seriously because we all live together, roam together before some of these people get into government appointments and other things. At the end of the day, what they come out with, even their grandchildren will never suffer again. Because the kind of wealth they always amass from that kind of period they stay in office is something we can't just talk about. But when you do the asset declaration, they can use that to monitor what you have before you get the appointment and what you have before you are leaving. But when that is not done, I don't think it is. And most of our institutions, some of these laws are there, but they are not enforcing the laws. So my expectation is that they should enforce the laws, make sure that everybody that go contrary to it, the moment a change of government comes, they should give them a time period for each and every one of them to do the assets declaration.
All right. Manan, we thank you for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
Have yourself a great day. Okay. Please call us. So how many minutes do we have before Johnny's Bite? Okay, I think it's almost time for the bites, but I'm sure we can squeeze in a call or two. Let's know what your thoughts are on asset declaration by public officials here in Ghana according to the Act. All right, let's head over now to Johnny's Bite.